All right, let's talk about a story that, honestly, it completely flips the script on what you'd expect from a junior mining company. We're looking at Trilogy Metals and how in just a few short months, its entire investment story went from a high-risk gamble to something, well, something much, much bigger. Let's dig in. And really, it all boils down to this one kind of wild question, right? It's not exactly normal for the US Department of War to start buying shares in a public company. So why on earth did they do it? And what does that signal about the future of critical resources? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. You know, this quote from the source material just nails it. This is the moment everything changed. In late 2025, an event took place that completely altered Trilogy's path. The company went from being another name in a long list of speculative explorers to being classified as an asset vital to US national security. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first big piece of this puzzle, it's all about the US government stepping in a big way. I mean, this is the thing that kicked it all off. And it all kicked off with this number, 10%. Now think about that. The US Department of War didn't just write a check or provide a loan guarantee. Nope, they bought a 10% equity stake. They became part owners, putting their own skin in the game right alongside every other investor. And that 10% stake? It came with a cool $35.6 million. This wasn't just some spare change to help out. This injection of cash effectively made the US government a senior partner in the whole deal, a very serious partner. But you've got to understand, this was way more than just a financial move. This was a statement, a huge geopolitical statement. The US was basically planting a flag and saying, we are going to secure our own domestic supply of critical metals, especially copper, and we're not going to be dependent on anyone else. But of course, the government isn't just going to throw money at any old hole in the ground, right? So that brings us to the second and maybe most important piece of the story, the asset itself. The reason for all this fuss is this absolutely world-class mineral deposit they've got up in Alaska. Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty numbers, let's do a super quick mining 101. The single most important thing in any mine is what's called grade. It's pretty simple. It's how much of the good stuff, the metal, is in the rock you dig up. The higher the grade, the more money you make. It's your safety net. It means you can weather the storm when prices drop. Honestly, grade is king. And this chart just shows you why Trilogy's Arctic project is what the source calls a freak of nature. I mean, look at this. The average copper mine in the world, they're working with ore that's less than 1% copper. But the Arctic project, it's sitting on grades around 5% copper equivalent. That's not just a little better, that's a whole different league. It makes it one of the richest undeveloped projects on the entire planet. So what does that incredible grade mean in terms of dollars and cents? Well, this table lays it all out. The economics are just compelling. We're talking a net present value of over $1 billion, a super healthy internal rate of return. But look at the cash costs, $1.61 per pound of copper. That puts this project in the absolute bottom tier for production costs anywhere in the world. It's built to be profitable. And get this, it's not just a one-trick pony. Just a short hop away, there's another huge deposit called bornite. So the big picture here isn't just one mine, it's the potential for a whole mining district that could be churning out critical copper for 30 years or more. We're talking long-term generational supply. Now, you can have the best deposit in the world, but if you can't get a permit to dig, it's just a bunch of pretty rocks, right? And for years, that was the big problem here. So the third pillar of this story is all about how this project finally broke free from what you could call permitting purgatory and now has a crystal clear path forward. And this timeline right here, it shows you the key that unlocked everything. See that first point, October 2025? A presidential order brought the permits for the crucial Ambler Access Road back to life. That road was the biggest hurdle, and once that was cleared, the path just opened right up. Submit the final mine permits in 2026, and then it's time to start building. And here's the kicker. They don't have to go through the usual years-long bureaucratic nightmare. The project got put on a special track called Fast 41. It's basically a federal fast pass designed to slash red tape and speed up the review for projects that are considered critical to the country. And this one? Yeah, it's critical. And this isn't some far-off dream. This is happening right now. For 2026, there's a $35 million budget locked and loaded for the final engineering work. And on top of that, the state of Alaska has already committed $50 million for pre-construction on that critical road. The wheels are seriously in motion. Okay, so the government's in, the permits are moving. But what does this all mean for an investor? How did the market take this news? Let's switch hots here and look at this from a trader's point of view, the catalysts, the risks, and the big re-rating that happened. Well, the market's reaction was, let's just say it wasn't subtle. It was immediate, and it was absolutely explosive. When that news about the federal investment hit in late 2025, the stock just went vertical. We're talking over 300%. The market got the message loud and clear. The game had completely changed. And this really gets at how the whole investment thesis has shifted. Before all this, buying Trilogy was a pure speculation, a bet on whether they could get their permits. It was a classic permit play. But now it's becoming a construction play. People are valuing it based on a de-risked asset that is actually on its way to getting built. Okay, but let's be real. No project is totally risk-free. The source is clear that there's still a risk of local litigation from environmental groups. But, and this is a huge but, think about who they'd be suing. It's not just some small mining company anymore. They'd be going up against a company that's 10% owned by the US Department of War. That creates what the source calls an unprecedented legal moat. It's a whole different ballgame. So, as we start to pull this all together, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Trilogy Metals is sitting right at the intersection of two massive global forces. On one side, you have the coming copper supercycle, driven by the green energy transition. And on the other, you have the undeniable power of US national security interests. So if you boil this entire story down to one single takeaway, the bottom line is this. The source material argues that you're not just buying a mining stock. You're buying a world-class, high-grade asset in a safe place like Alaska, and you've got the United States military as your business partner. And that leaves us with a really big question to chew on, one that goes way beyond just this one company. The Trilogy Metals story might just be a sign of things to come. You have to wonder, when resources become this critical for a nation's survival, where does the line between a private company and the state even begin or end?